Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to discuss about qualities of a reporter. So, reporter, as we know that in any kind of media, whether it is in a print or maybe electronic or maybe in the form of digital, reporter will going to play a very crucial role in the newsroom. Especially why? Because he is the first person who will going to collect the information from the side of a society. So he is the first person who will going to reach the place to collect the details from the side of available sources. So that's why it is very important that as a journalism students, you should know that what are the qualities should be there for a reporter, and as a reporter, how you have to maintain these kind of qualities while you are working with any kind of a media. So we're going to see the qualities of reporter one by one. So the first and foremost one, we should understand that what is the nature of work of a reporter. So as we know that collecting an information or maybe gathering information is the major objective or maybe the major function of the reporter. At the same time, how you will going to present it in the form of written or maybe in the form of usual visual or maybe in the form of oral or news stories. So or maybe sometimes the reporter will going to give their stories in the form of feature stories also, or maybe in the form of they are presenting their stories in the form of documentaries also. So the first and foremost one, collecting and presenting. So how you are presenting, whether it is in the form of written, oral, or maybe in the visual, that is totally dependent upon the nature of the media. But these are very important two functions are there from the side of a reporter, collecting and presenting. So especially reporters will going to work in many areas in a life, finding or presenting the information. So especially while any kind of reporters are there, whenever they are working with any kind of media, so their major objective is to collect the information and the present the information. At the same time, they will going to work in the form of different beats also. So beats are very differ from uh, senior reporter to the junior reporter or maybe with the principal correspondent also. So that's why there are certain qualities. There are certain qualities are there that should be maintained by the side of a reporter while he was working with any kind of a media platform. So that's why we're going to see what are the areas are there he has to concentrate, and at the same time he has to work in a very effective manner. So the first and foremost one, news sense. So uh, the major objective of the uh, reporter is to have some kind of news sense also. All the stories or maybe whatever the information we're going to see in the society, all the information will not going to convert in the form of news. Or maybe sometimes reporter should have some kind of news sense in identifying which information will going to be in the form of a news. You should be able to compare various news values in the news or maybe in the information, and later he has to decide where to being a story or we should not miss the important details also. So the news sense is very important. So it is the basic quality of a reporter. So a news sense is very important, and at the same time he has to distinguish the news from the non-news also. So this is the first quality a reporter should have in the media. So whether you are working with the print media or maybe electronic media, this news sense is very important one. The second very important quality that is related to clarity. So a reporter should have a clarity of mind and expression. Why? Because as a reporter, when you are working with the newspaper, you are not only working with the newspaper, you are a representative of a society. When you are writing something, you should have a certain clarity. A reporter should have a certain clarity regarding a particular issue or maybe a particular information. So a person who is confused himself cannot tell a story to others also. So as I told, reporter means is not only an employee towards to a particular media house, is a responsible person. Whatever you will going to write tomorrow, that will going to become a representative of that newspaper also, and at the same time, a representative from the side of a responsible reporter also. So that's why first he has to maintain the clarity before writing anything in the form of reporting or maybe in the form of information. So only clarity, when you have a clarity or maybe when the reporter have a clarity, definitely that will going to reach the large number of the people, and at the same time, uh, that will be the opinion piece of a particular a newspaper or maybe particular institution also. So clarity is very important as a second quality. So the third one, it is related to objectivity. So whether you are working with a reporter or maybe a sub-editor in the newspaper, maintaining the objectivity is very important in the story. Why? Because you are the representative of a particular institution or maybe a particular newspaper. They should not allow their personal opinions in that news story. So sometimes what happen, you have to maintain the objectivity. Why? Because when you are writing a story, you should be careful about the points, and at the same time you should have a clear idea regarding that story, and at the same time you should maintain the objectivity. You should not take a one side opinion also. So whenever you are covering the story, better that as a reporter you should take both the opinion from the side of opponent also. Taking the opinion is very important. Otherwise, it will be considered as a one-sided story. So both the viewpoints are very important while you are covering the story in the newspaper. So a reporter should be maintain a center position, and he has to represent both the opinions, and at the same time he has to tell the story in a form of clear manner. So that is very important, I mean, maintaining the objectivity. So some reporters are there, they will going to take only one side opinion, and that will be considered as a one side story. So when you are going to take the both the opinion, definitely you are giving a justice to that story in the form of equal manner. So this is very important as a third quality of a reporter. The fourth one, it is related to accuracy. Accuracy, a reporter should strive for accuracy. Accuracy will going to decide the credibility of your newspaper. So even though you are writing a small story, that story, even though it is a very small one, that will going to affect a lot tomorrow for your newspaper if it is a not the worthy one, or maybe it is not an accurate one. So accuracy is very important. You should check, recheck. Is fact till he is satisfied, whatever is covering the story or maybe towards to the accurate. Sometimes that's why whenever the reporter will going to cover any kind of story, always we have a one kind of terminology we are using in the newspaper, that is called double check. Double check in the sense, sometimes you are covering a beat. On that time, you have to maintain the two sources in the that kind of particular beat. So maybe sometimes a single source will going to be a wrong one, but when you're going to check that idea or maybe with other sources, you're going to get an idea regarding the accuracy or maybe the worthiness of that story also. So that's why always you, as a reporter, you should maintain the two sources or maybe a double sources in the particular beat, and at the same time always you have to check, double check with the sources also. Then only the reporter should give us some kind of justice to a particular story also. So that's why maintaining the accuracy is very important. When you're going to check and recheck, then only the quality of the news also will going to increase. The credibility of the newspaper also will going to improve through the check and recheck. So that's why accuracy is considered as a very important one. Accuracy will going to decide the clarity towards to the worthiness of the newspaper. So alertness, another one important quality is that is related to alertness. Alertness in the sense, So when you are working with the newspaper, it is not that uh, 8 hours job. It is in the form of 24 into 7 job. So a reporter should always be alert while he is maintaining any kind of beat or maybe any kind of issues in the society. So many major stories are there that will going to break after completing the printing hours also, or maybe sometimes the major stories will going to happen after 12 o'clock, or maybe the crime related issues will going to happen in the night itself, or maybe sometimes these kind of issues will going to happen in the after 1 o'clock or maybe after 2 o'clock. So on that time, maintaining the alertness is a very important one, especially I think when Congress government was there in the center in the year of 2000 before 2014 and all, there is a big movement happened towards to Janlokpal bill. On that time, Delhi police arrested Baba Ramdev at 2 a.m. So on that time, already 2 a.m. means the printing time is already over, but some of the newspapers are there, they will going to carry the local news editions, they will going to start the print after 3 o'clock or maybe after 2 o'clock. So on that time, some newspaper covered the stories in the form of alertness also, or maybe in the form of front page itself. So that's why alertness is very important. Some kind of issues will going to happen after the printing time, or maybe after 12 o'clock, or maybe after 1 o'clock. So reporter should have some kind of alertness. His job is always in the form of 24 into 7. You should aware about his own beats also. So this is very important quality of a reporter. And another one important quality is there, that is related to speed. So obviously, in today's scenario, the world is in the form of competitive manner. All the news channels are there. They want to give the story in the form of breaking. So that's why, according to the need, or maybe according to the present scenario, or maybe according to the current competitive world, the reporter should maintain their speed also, or maybe in covering the stories very rapid manner. So that's why maintaining the speed is very important. Now all the medias are there in the form of electronic. They always want to give their stories in the form of breaking, or maybe in the form of exclusive. So that's why reporter should always alert, and he has to cover the story as early as possible to reach the viewers. So this is very important one quality uh, as a reporter you should maintain in the field. So another one important character is there, or maybe a quality is there, that is related to calmness. Reporter and sub editors often work in the trying circumstances, especially the schedule of the news paper is always in the form of busy only. But maintaining the calmness is also very important. That will going to decide the quality of your story. So they have to remain the calm and composed in most exciting and tragic circumstances also. So always we know that the reporter job is always, it's one kind of hectic and at the same time uh, busy scheduled one. But at the same time, while you are working as a reporter, you should maintain the calmness. When you are maintaining the calmness, automatically um, the quality of the news will going to improve, and at the same time, you're going to get a more information from the side of